This is Isaiah 10:7. Howbeit he meaneth not so, neither doth his heart think so, but it is in his heart to destroy and cut off nations, not a few. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakak, Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Salutation to you, Akim, pushing this word with true sincerity, with charity, presenting your bodies as a living sacrifice. We who are ready to live salute you. So I just want to go into this lesson, and we'll go into this lesson that the elder Yashin Wamba did. I'm going to start at this point.
Madness. Okay? That is why President Trump has drawn a new strategic map from Greenland to the Gulf of America to the Panama Canal and its surrounding countries. At the Department of War, we call this strategic map the Greater North America. Why? Because every sovereign nation and territory north of the equator, from Greenland to Ecuador and from Alaska to Guyana, is not part of the global south. It is not a security perimeter in this great neighborhood that we all live in. Each one of these countries border either the North Atlantic or the North Pacific. Each one of these countries sits north of the two basic geographic barriers that exist in this region, the Amazon and the Andes Mountains. This is basic geography that we don't teach in schools as much as we should. And it restores our north-south relations, and we must get it right. In the North, the United States must enhance posture and presence in cooperation with you and our sovereign partners to defend our shared immediate security perimeter. So he's not going to stop. I mean, Habakkuk 2:9, woe to him that...
Right, so you heard that video. So this is basically just Esau up to his old tricks, man. Because what the scripture says, the thief cometh not but to steal, kill, and destroy, man. All right. So this guy's trying to take over and conquer nations, man. You know, that's why I read that first scripture, man. You know, but that time is pretty much come and gone, man. Because the blessing of Esau was by the sword shall you live, man. But this is not the time for you to be conquering shit right now. This is the time where you go down, man. But this is Nahum 3:19. There is no healing of thy bruise. Thy wound is grievous. All that hear the bruit of thee shall clap their hands over thee, for upon whom hath not thy wickedness passed continually? Right, who have you screwed over, man? That's why the beast is starting to hate the whore. All these NATO nations are starting to hate America, man. All right. Because he doesn't have any diplomacy, man. All right. And what does it say about this devil? It says look, you know, this guy's proud. This guy's proud, man. You know, this is Daniel's 7:20, and the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the others which came up before whom 3 fell, even that horn that had eyes and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. All right. And hey, this devil here in America, man, I mean, just look at Donald Trump, man. You know, he's a personification of just pride, man. You know, a lot of people are getting screwed over. A lot of people are getting cut out of deals, man. All right. And pretty much America has isolated itself, man. You know, when it's all said and done, the only, if you can call that an ally, they're going to have is the state of Israel, man. And right, with friends like that, who needs enemies, man? You know? So all these nations are starting to see who they're dealing with, man. Matter of fact, let me right. Right, this is Jeremiah 50. And 23. How is the hammer of the earth cut asunder and broken? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? Right. So everybody's seeing that this devil is just a hammer, man. All right. There's no. It's like the movie The Terminator, man. There's no reasoning with him. All right. And he's not gonna stop until you're dead, man. You know, just like Kyle Reese told Sarah Connor, man. Says, I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, thou was not aware, thou art found and also caught because thou hast striven against Yahweh. As it says in the book of Obadiah, they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. All right. So these nations, hey man, they're plotting on how they break away from the dollar, and they're actually plotting on destroying you, man. Because America, Babylon the Great has pretty much put themselves in a situation that they can't get out of. There's no getting out of this place, and this place is insolvent. America, Babylon the Great is pretty much insolvent at this point. Things that things that have been done are irreversible. All right. This is Isaiah 33:1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled, and when thou shalt make an end of dealing treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. All right. So yeah, man. So now these nations are dealing treacherously with Esau Edom, man, here in America, Babylon the Great. Because America's just a hammer, man, just like I read, man. See, the American people, these so-called rednecks, these low-level Edomites, they didn't have a problem with America being a hammer, you know, as long as they thought that they were wielding it, and as long as they felt like they were benefiting from crushing these nations underfoot, man. All right. But now, what it says, the children shall complain of an ungodly father. All right. Because, hey, this devil, he doesn't care who he screws over. Now he's screwing over his own people, man. Now these people, I see that that Benjamin Net, not a Jew, is really the one running this country. They're the ones that's really wielding the hammer, man. And these low-level American Edomites, they're not benefiting from it, man. They're actually suffering and being under oppression. All right, so now they're angry. Okay, now they're mad, man. You know, and all these nations are mad, man. Nations. Let me get that right. This is Jeremiah 51:7. Babylon hath been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunk of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. So the nations are mad. They're pissed off, man. All right. At the way things are going, at the way they're being screwed over, man. You know. And they're seeing that there's no dealing with this guy, man. You know, here it is, you're trying to have peace talks, and while you're in the middle of having peace talks, this guy comes and bombs you, man. You know? So people are saying that there's no point of even dealing with this guy. There's no point of talking to him. You know, at this point, you know, the only answer to this guy is a military one. All right? And that's what all these nations are going to figure out. All right? And they're gonna shoot missiles on this place, man. Let me see. Archers against. Right. Right. This is Jeremiah 50 and 29. Call together the archers against Babylon, all ye that bend the bow, camp against it round about. Let none thereof escape. Recompense her according to her work, according to all that she have done, do unto her. For she hath been proud against Yahweh, against the Holy One of Israel. All right. And all roads lead into the valley of Jehoshaphat, man. All right. Because this war is happening, man. So, and the scripture says, when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, man. So right now you have Donald Trump basically telling the American people, you know, hey, we won the war, you know, we're just wrapping it up, you know, it's pretty much over, we're just wrapping it up. At the same time, he's sending troops in, man. And they're lying about these numbers, they're lying about the casualties, man. And at the same time, people are seeing that this nigga, he's you know, he's trying to send American troops to this fight, but none of these small hat troops are going, man. All right, so these American people are, and it's going to be a civil war, man. All right, you're going to have war on all fronts, man. You know, because people are basically fed up, man. They don't want to send their children to fight and die for a war that doesn't benefit them, man. And people are seeing that there's no win in this war, man. You know? People are starting to feel it at the pumps. They're starting to feel it in their pockets, man. It's affecting them, and pretty soon, you're going to have to send your sons and daughters off to fight, man. And these American people don't want to do that, man. So you're going to have war on all fronts. You're going to have insurrections, man. It says there shall be, they will not regard their kings nor princes, man. All right, these elected officials, a lot of them are going to become targets, man. All right. Because what the scripture says, thus with violence shall that great city, Babylon, be thrown down, and shall not be found anymore at all, man. This place was built violently, and it's going to go down very violently, man. That's how it's going to go out, man. All right, what it says, since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee, man. And all these soldiers that are going to war, man, they're not coming back, man. You know, you can kiss that ass goodbye, man. You know. But it's just funny, man, because that's the blessing Esau was given, was a sword. You know, he has a sword and he has deception. You know. But hey, man, pretty much all this deception is being revealed, man. People are seeing these things, man. That deception is not working no more. So the Lord's driving them to a point where he's not going to have nothing else but the sword, man. All right, that's why you see ICE agents in these streets, man. You know, you're going to see a lot of more military, personnel, in just your regular residential neighborhoods, man. You know, which is actually against the Posse Comitatus Act, man. Because this guy's wiped his ass with the Constitution a long time ago, man. You know, but these Americans have been made very docile, man. You know, they've been lulled to sleep, man. You know, that's why they haven't uprised yet. And a lot of these uprisings and stuff like October 11th and all that, a lot of that was manufactured, man. So Esau likes to get ahead of the curve, so to speak, man. All right, so when people start really fighting back, man, you've already been demonized to the point where you're gonna look like the T word, man. You know. But it's interesting watching these things unfold, man, because hey, like the scripture I read, when thou cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled, man. So you got bounds that you cannot pass. You can only go so far with this thing, man. Thus saith the Lord, man. You know. But yeah, that's pretty much what I got. Hope this lesson is edifying. And Shalom, Kwame Yasharal, and the Bible Ball.